it starts with everyone gets together for the dinner. Where were they?
They were in a part of California that only Kathy Hilton knows about because it's one of her many properties.
Gotcha. Okay. And so they all sit down at the table. It was Dorit, right, that brought up that they need. No, it was Kyle that brought it up that they needed to talk.
No.
I think it was Dorit. I can't remember.
To be honest with you, I actually can't remember who brought it up.
I feel like it was Kyle, which gagged me because I felt like after you got dragged that first time, and maybe she felt confident that Dorit wouldn't embarrass her in front of everybody. Because the initial argument that they had, it was just those two. It was just them. And so it was Kyle that brought it up because she said, I would like to get some time alone so you and I can, discuss what's going on. And then Dorit, instead of saying like, oh, you're right, we'll do it on the side. She said, no, we're going to have that conversation now.
Right now.
And then the eating up proceeded.
Well, Kyle had time to marinate and come up with another reason and pull this Teddy thing out of her ass.
Now, the Teddy shit didn't have nothing to do. Now, they keep bringing up Teddy. I was like, Teddy, what she got to do with it?
I know. Why we always got to talk about Teddy?
Like, there's so many other ex-housewives that we could talk about on Beverly Hills. And the fact that Teddy is, like, it just shows you how much power Kyle has or how she is in charge of the girls.
She is.
Because I'm even noticing some trends with Erica that I'm not feeling.
Bit of a follower.
Like, she is a little bit of a follower.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think for Erica's trying to find her way now because you have to think about it. Erica's really that bitch and never cared about any of those girls before. But she had a nice little fall from grace. So she had to really humble herself. Not only from the tiny cottage home that she has, but to her wardrobe. She had to humble herself. That was no shade.
But she got a new Porsche.
Yeah. Where'd she get money?
Hello?
I mean, she's making I think they said she's making like 700. Okay, let's be very clear. Because this is, okay, since I've been creating content and like getting paid for it, it's very easy for my mind to go about how much money outside of Bravo that these women can make.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, because it's like if I'm not even at 12,000 followers on Instagram, and these bitches got millions of followers, there's money there. There's partnerships. The only thing I could kind of think maybe she's not. What's the word I'm looking for? She's not because it's murky why she fell from grace.
Well, right.
So maybe brands wouldn't want to partner with her, but if NBC Global is still fucking with her, then...
Because didn't she have a residency? Did that ever go through?
She had a residency, but I don't know if it performed.
Did anybody buy the tickets, though?
They went down to like $1 or something like that, according to Sutton. So...
That is shady for that. Sutton was very shady for that.
Yeah.
But yes, getting back to the conversation. Kyle is a perpetual victim, dog.
Loves being a victim. She could cry on cue. She only had that one movie in Little House on the Prairie, but that girl could cry on cue.
She had 2 movies. Well, no, 3. Halloween Kills. What was the other Halloween? She was in 3 of them. She had bangs.
You're right. And she was in the latest one, too. She got killed in the park.
Yeah.
There were some of the things that I noticed within the argument between her and Dorit was that, and I was trying to like check my bias because I really don't care for Kyle, but I was trying to figure out like, am I being too hard on her? Because I felt like every single thing that she was accusing Dorit of was exactly what Kyle is. Like saying that Dorit bases her actions off of social media.
Yeah.
That got to be the furthest from the truth. Don't forget when she doubled down on the love bubble. Like, Dorit was getting hit up left and right.
True.
And then double down.
No, she didn't. She didn't. And I think, and honestly, to piggyback off of that, not only is she like such a victim, I think she looks, have you noticed how she looks at the girls like just to see if they're on her side or not? Like, let me see. The bitch literally like will turn her eye and be like, let me see if they're actually buying this story or not. And Erica is one of the girls who's falling for the trap. Sutton, on the other hand, was not.
Mm-hmm.
Erica's been riding a
Garcelle.
little coattail. Maybe she thinks she could put her on allowance or something.
That's why, yeah, that's exactly why Kyle found Garcelle's eye contact and just stuck with her. They just kept looking at each other.
And I was like, well, what Garcelle got to do with it? She should have been looking at that mirror the way she was looking at Kyle.
Woo!
Oh, okay, girl. Well, okay, Kim Fields. Okay, Kim Fields. Okay. The only thing though, like when it comes to, well, first of all, I think the silence of the table definitely showed us that people agree.
Yeah.
100%.
With how they feel about Kyle. I'll also say this, one of the things that was irritating me about the commentary around it, let's not act like this is not a big deal. First of all, Kyle is a titan of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
She is. OG.
Also, Dorit is the closest person on this cast with her, outside of her sister.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, might be tighter than her sister, you know, at certain points. And the way that, like, even Jennifer Tilly, like, oh, I just want to get my bread, and like, oh my God, we're still arguing about this, and those, like, this is a big fucking deal. Like, this, in terms of like Housewives history, this is a big fucking deal. Kyle has never gotten ate up like this ever.
No one would dare to do so though. They'd be actually too afraid of the backlash and what could happen to them. Could the show? Could I get cut for her ripping her?
There was one.
Well, Lisa Vanderpump, let us never forget. And she's living her best life at Villa Rosa.
Y'all also thinking about Carlton the witch, but
Carlton did eat her.
Yeah,
Carlton did eat her. Carlton did eat her up.
Yeah, but Kyle got her ass up out of there, or somebody did.
Okay, so and thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up. The way Garcelle jumped in, well, slightly, whatever you want to call it. The way she was like, no, and then Dorit clocked it.
Got her real good, didn't she? Because she wasn't expecting Dorit to say anything because she said it under her breath, loud enough so everyone could hear her. But she didn't think it was gonna be a rebuttal back and forth. She didn't think that. Yeah. That's what happened. Right. She definitely didn't think she was gonna say anything.
I was gonna say the same thing because she just kind of just shut up, and it's getting kind of funny. I hope this kind of continues all season. It's almost like a drinking game because like Garcelle's just waiting for any moment to get a lick in at Dorit, like any moment.
And it doesn't time. Let's be very fair, or be honest. It was very, like, we were totally fine with them talking shit about her, you know, talking too much and not letting anyone get a word in edgewise. Like, even like the shit with Crystal, even some of the things that she said to Garcelle, even though I may not have felt like Dorit had a racist bone in her body, I could understand where Garcelle was coming from, where certain words, when you use them towards us, it means something different. But then I thought, when I saw them getting buddy, and we'll get there when they're on the boat, when I saw Garcelle talking to Kyle, and how she is very easily able to go back and be cool with Kyle and be fine with Kyle. Dorit called you aggressive. But Kyle said you don't pay your bills when it comes to charity, and you still cool with Kyle. But
Kyle took accountability for that and apologized like immediately, and Kyle never backtracked.
Fair.
Just to let you know, he is a Kyle apologist.
I'm a Kyle defender. But I just want to say this, like, I have a thing for Housewives OGs, so I always defend them, but I hold them accountable when they do something crazy. For context, my favorite housewife ever is Teresa Giudice, but I know the bitch is crazy as hell. Yeah. And I know she's had some wild seasons, and I treat Kyle the same way. By the way, she lives in Jersey and is born and bred in Jersey. She loves her some Teresa.
I love me some Tree, baby. I love me some Tree. Jail and all.
I come to the light when it comes to Teresa. I think I told both of y'all that. I finally it took me to watch, I want to say, the last 2 seasons of Jersey and Girls Trip to be like, oh, this bitch is cool.
She's not that bad. She's really painted as a villain.
Yeah,
I feel like if you're a strong housewife, and there's only if we're talking about OG housewives, I feel like there's a handful of those strong housewives that you can't blow them down with a straw. Like, they don't have straw houses. You can't just blow them down. They're standing on business. They really are. It's the reason why they're
right. And every single long-standing housewife is going to have at least 1, 2, or 3 villain seasons. Like they all going to have some kind of a villain season at some point. So it is what it is. That's Housewife.
No, that's a fact. It was cool when everybody was throwing shade at at Dorit, but it's different now. Dorit is going through shit now.
Yeah.
This is not just a girl that like is just her drama is now just with the girls. She's literally going through something, and you not giving her grace, and it's very clear you're trying.
Oh yeah, you picked
to piss. You're trying to attack her. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. You're looking like a bully.
When Dorit was like, "What did you say?" Like, but Garcelle was like, "Oh wait, she did hear me, so now I have to repeat myself." No, I was just saying no, and then she tried to say it so candidly, like, "Oh no, I just said no. Like, I don't agree with what you're saying." No, but you didn't even have to put your 2 cents in because that wasn't your fight, and you don't even like me to begin with, which is why Dorit said that. Well, that's fair coming from you. I'm not your favorite person, and if somebody's not my favorite person, you should never really be speaking on it because, bitch, you're biased from the rip. You don't like me.
Right.
You're biased. So yeah, that was a rightful eat up.
I will say one of the things that it's when you are no longer susceptible to your kryptonite, the person that is trying to give you the kryptonite that has always used that weakness towards you, when it no longer works, it is such an interesting moment to witness when it no longer works. Like when Kyle was like, my best friend died and I'm going through a da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, and Dorit was like, yeah, and I understand that. And I was giving you grace.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. That bitch's face was like, oh, it's not working no more? Because I can count the countless times where Kyle has done that.
Well, she was about to start crying, and the tear never dropped on her face because she knew that it wasn't going to work. You know when you're about to start crying, like when a baby does it. They want to cry, but the eye duckets just fill up, and the tear never drops. That's what happened there.
No, that's a lie. I was going to say I want more. I want more for Kyle, but sorry, Jared.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up is, and we kind of touched on it earlier, like, is Erica afraid of Kyle?
I actually think they have a mutual respect, but in different ways. I think Erica does respect the fact that Kyle is the OG. She's literally said on a reunion that this is Kyle's show, blah, 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 blah. I also think you've never seen Kyle come at Erica crazy either, because Kyle has seen how Erica pops off, and Kyle don't want to do that.
Not crazy.
It wasn't
not crazy. Crazy. You're right.
Yeah. Like, I don't ever think that Kyle would come at Erica the same way she would ever come at Dorit. She might not come at Dorit no more after this, but going back, I don't think she would ever came at Erica the way she does Dorit.
She is handling. I feel like Dorit went back to that season when Kyle and Brandy was going at it and realized, like, oh, you just gotta come at this. She can't take it. She'll dish it, but she can't take it. Because that season when she said, what she said? Go ask. No one wants you here. Go ask your husband. And that bitch turned around like.
I mean, I also feel as though like there is a mutual respect. Like I agree with you, Jared. There's a mutual respect there. But I also feel like too when there's two strong girls together, it's either you guys can be a dynamic duo or it's a shit star. I feel like with their situation, it's easier for us to coincide with each other than for us to actually be enemies. And again, let us never forget, Erica actually needs the check. She's still in the back of her head thinking like, listen, I can't lose this. This is the main source of income. So I don't want to really step on the wrong bunion. You know what I mean? Let's be real.
No, that's a fact, because it also turns into a thing of like, now it's very clear it's on the table that Kyle is an icer outer. She ices people out. Erica, actually, I might have to not look at Erica as a kiss ass, because actually Kyle was the least out of the whole bunch that dragged Erica. Because even Dorit got a little busy from time to time.
I was about to bring that up too. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, that when Erica had her downfall in those 2 seasons, Kyle kind of not even had her back so much, but she gave her a lot of grace.
We also let us never forget though. Remember, we didn't know this until later on though, that she was slowly on the Splitsville with Mauricio at that time. We just did not know it.
True.
Yeah.
So that was a little inside security, like, oh, I can't really eat them up. I'm portraying my marriage is still good. But at that time, her marriage was slowly falling apart. We just did not see that yet. So that's where that could have come from.
One more thing about the dinner that I thought was interesting, Sutton. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen Sutton in a position where she is the peacemaker or she is the mediator. And Sutton usually a little messy, and especially considering that it was Kyle and Dorit who she's had issues with both of them before. I was kind of shocked that she jumped in to try to mediate that situation.
No, that's a fact. She's always had these like random ancillary beefs.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, Sutton has not had a easy season.
She's gotten into it with all the girls, though.
Yeah, the only person she hasn't gotten into it was Garcelle, right?
The only person she hasn't gotten into it is with Garcelle. She's gotten into it with whether it was about
Kathy. No, Kathy.
Well, but remember the thing with Kat, not directly with Kathy, but remember there was an issue with where she was hanging out with Kathy too much, and Kyle felt like, "Why are you with my sister?"
Oh,
so it wasn't directly pointed towards Kathy, but it was Kyle by way of Kathy.
Right. Did y'all see the after show for this episode?
I never see the after show, so you're gonna always have to fill me in.
Okay, so just in the way that you said that Sutton was being the peacemaker, Danielle, do you agree that Sutton was being the peacemaker?
Oh no, I don't.
You don't think she was being the peacemaker there?
I mean, I like it was. You know what's crazy? At that particular time, I almost fell for it until the end of the episode.
No, on that scene. No, just in that scene.
Okay.
Do you think she was being
in that scene? I felt like she was trying to be a peacemaker. Yeah, you could take that.
Okay. In the after show, my number one reason why, well, it's two reasons. It's like 1A and 1B, why I can't fuck with Kyle. She's so fucking unaware. Do you notice she said that Sutton was trying to drag her in that moment? On the after show. She said Sutton jumps in and tries to have Dorit's back and say that I ice her out. And it's like, how did you get that? Yes, she did say those things, but she was trying to tell Dorit that you recognize it and you want to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
she's a little delulu. Let's be real. Like, I mean, this is the same person.
And then she admitted to it after Sutton said it. She was like, "Yeah, I acknowledge, and I'm trying to work on that." Like she admitted.
Yes. Yes. Kyle can't take criticism, and when you can't take criticism, it spurs out to every single negative way that could show up in life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening with her.
She is kind of spiraling. Let's not. She's spiraling.
She's going through the hardest fucking 2 years of her life, you guys. Give her a fucking break.
I lost my best friend of 30 years. Girl, everybody at that table done lost their spouse, girl. Please. Poor Bo's husband done died. So what do you say?
Yeah. Right.
Oh wow.
She's actually a widow.
Wow, so even more unaware. Even more unaware. So Dorit ends up leaving the dinner early. Erica walks her out, which I thought was really kind. We then fast forward to a whole bunch of different split scenes of everyone getting ready.